Okay, we're live over there. I told it to go live over there. Stop, modify. It's going. In fact, it's not going. It's supposed to just go to my Twitch, I thought. Man, this doesn't make any sense. Like the 5-minute video where the dude freaking talked as fast as his face could fall off, with like any freaking like explanation, like literally just did not help. And I don't know what to do now. Start streaming to Twitch. Oh. Oh, hello. Hi, friends. Am I streaming on Twitch right now? Because my chat's starting to blow up and I'm getting viewers in my room, but I haven't hit start stream. Okay, cool. So then my multiple platform stuff is working. It's a success. All right, you guys. I was just like so frustrated with myself because I spent like an hour and a half trying to get these multiple simulcasts going. And yeah. I've been trying to get going on Kick lately. So right now I'm streaming through my OBS. I've never really done this except like once or twice just to Kick. And like it's just like it says it's streaming like my Twitch over here. I don't have my Twitch manager anymore. But let me see here. So I assume y'all are just following through my OBS. So I need to okay. All right. Well, this is a little project day for the first 30 minutes, as I was not fully prepared. But let me finish just my lobbies here, and I was gonna get going here around noon anyways. So put this. I need a new world main. So I guess yeah, that makes sense. Maybe the video I was watching also said at the end to take your Twitch chat and you can literally just throw it into your OBS. So that might actually be a good idea as I can't use my chat manager anymore that I was using. Oh, I know it's a black screen. Hold on, bear with me. Boo, 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 boo. No, I don't want window capture. Or yes, I do want window capture. Here I am. Me down in the corner. Nobody puts the cartographer in a corner. Well, except for the cartographer. Display capture, window capture, window capture. Why is it being different now? Create a Chrome, kick Google Chrome, create a dashboard. Oh, because I'm in Kick on Chrome. That's why. Yes, so I'm kind of gearing up to like figure everything out that I want to do here. I probably will because I do most of my VODs and stuff to YouTube anyways. So it just makes sense. I'll probably stream on YouTube, Kick here, Twitch. I may look out Trovo. I can kind of, the sky's the limit for me because I have a decent medium range rig, and when I stream this type of content, it doesn't eat up any of my computer. You know, like it's all here, right? Like being Dungeon Master's here, it's not down there. So I can really push my platforms in that regard. I always can't space this window properly. It's always got a little trim and cut, but that's okay. We can live with that. Yeah, it's awesome. If you don't mind chasing up a follow, I mean all my socials are now the same. So it's Cartographer on any platform. I'm gonna be getting on Instagram soon. I started a channel on TikTok, just kind of getting the whole orchestra up together and running at this point. Yeah, I still gotta get my green screen up here, everybody. Let me get the music on for us. like, it's a production day. It's a production day. You know, these things don't just happen. Oh, so now my question lies because when I stream Kick, I can stream whatever I want. I have no rules. When I stream Twitch, there are some rules. Not many, but some. So I assume I still need to follow Twitch's rules whilst I'm multi-streaming. Over here, multi-streaming. Oh, it's the throwback. It's one of my favorite tavern comps right here. And like, tavern comps are not a new thing for this channel. Like, I've been listening to tavern comps for like 4+ years now. It is my energy. Yeah. So I mean, Kick is new to me as well. I was at a party with some friends and family, and one of the dudes there was like, "Oh, you're streaming?" He's like, "Oh, you gotta check out Kick," and he just kind of told me about it. So it's new to me. I've noticed that the affiliate standards are a little bit higher than Twitch, but they also are I think they pay more. So they're like a 95-5 split. They claim. I would like to go affiliate for Twitch. I'm very close. I need to get my average viewers up to 3. I have everything else checked off the list, and and then some. Just trying to get those average viewers up, so I can get that email, that call. Pay more, but 95% of 200 is still less than 50% of 400. Yeah, 100. Totally. So that's why I kind of focused. Like my buddy was saying, like, oh, like this big timer left Twitch and went to Kick and is making so much more money. Like, if you're a big timer, yeah, you move a market with you, right? But like, I'm not. So like, I need to piggyback onto Twitch's, community. And piggyback onto, I need some viewers, I need some people, I need some follows. Thanks, random internet chick. Appreciate that. So I think now, see, this is what's good about business, right? Is now we're entering into the realm of competition, where Twitch isn't the only one on the stage, and now they have to. Like, if you're gonna compete with a 95-5 split, and they're gonna steal your biggest streamers from you for exclusive rights, like, you gotta compete now. You gotta, so you gotta bring all them tides down a little bit. Yeah. What's going on, internet chick? So, I was just telling my buddies here that I've been kind of there's a new OBS setup for me, so I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. I'm gonna take a 5 after I put up my green screen here, and then we're gonna get into some world building, like we pretty much do every day of the week here. I'm excited because I'm getting very close to being done with this world prep. But yeah, I'm glad to have some new people kind of join along. We got a little sniffles today. I don't think I'm sick. I think it's just like some sniffles. I don't even know. Yeah, so like I'm not gonna like ignore Twitch or give up on Twitch in any fashion, especially because like Twitch is where I have the most of my progress, right? But I think it's silly to not try and put, you know, multiple fires in the iron. Yeah, I think, you know, giving a little bit of that agency to your streamers, quite literally like your employees. Like, let's be real about this. They might not be direct on the books, but like they run your business, right? If they're not happy. And so like here's a good concept of an idea, and this is kind of what I brought up with the last stage of Dungeons and Dragons ownership and you know it getting carried over. You know, Dungeons and Dragons is another one of those games that's more or less ran and pushed by the Dungeon Masters, right? Where like Twitch itself is pushed by the streamers, right? Like you don't have a product unless you have Dungeon Masters. You don't have a product unless you have streamers. But with them, you have a really, really cool product that a lot of people seem to like, right? So I think it's silly for like Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, or whoever has their hands on it, you know, for them to kind of just let those two entities be separate. Like Dungeon Masters should be like propped up. They should be supported. They should like have a lot of programs where they give out free material for Dungeon Masters. Like there's so much stuff that they could do to aid Dungeon Masters in making their game exist. You know what I mean? Yeah, support your local DMs, like quite literally. Like it's like a grassroots, like way backwards ass thinking of business. But like, think about it. Dungeons and Dragons doesn't exist without a DM. Unless of course the new age shit starts where they're like, hey, we'll do the AI DMs, you know? Fuck that. Oh man, the play. A bit of rope. A bit of rope. Yes, the play. When transcodes can be run from streamer side rather than Twitch. What's a transcode? How do you mean, Stormy? It's like I feel bad, kind of, a little bit, but it's like I'm such a baby streamer. I don't understand any of these terminologies. I don't understand half of the stuff that I'm trying to do over here with my OBS. Like I'm all learning, and I'm just like getting mad frustrated. But a lot of stream to be in 360, 720, 1080. Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Lore Master? Look, everybody's getting in. Yeah, I think it's the same thing with art, Gabo, right? You know, like art is emotion, art is a feeling, art is more than just a picture on the wall. And so is improv, and so is Dungeons and Dragons. It's art, you know, you can't just reproduce it and have it be the same every time and have it be just as good. It doesn't exist. So yeah, I think and that's why we love Dungeons and Dragons so much. I think people who get immersed in their own role play and in their own world, right? We fall in love with that feeling, that rush, that adrenaline rush, right? I used to be big into like longboarding and snowboarding and some sports, and I used to get like this rush of adrenaline, right? I now get that from my role play, like from my Friday night sessions, Monday night sessions, you know? Like it's totally a switch of pace, but it's the truth. A stream of 9K viewers for 8 hours cost Twitch around $1,600 in 1080p. Well, now, see, now we're talking. These are the numbers that I don't even understand. You know, this is where I'm starting to feel like I'm like, yo, so my computer is now my car and vessel that I drive to work. And if my computer fails on me, well, now I can't get to work, right? So these are new kind of concepts that I've been playing around with now that I'm like trying to get serious now with the streaming career here. I'm gonna reveal my chair. But this is good. This is good. Been watching a lot of pirate software. Word. Well, I kind of feel like I'm just like there's the streamers, right? And then there's the streamers. And that's kind of who sounds like you're talking. The guy that showed me how to do the OBS multi thing, like he's streaming to show people how to stream. I'm like, oh my god, the Inception. I don't even have my coffee on me right now. I'm coffeeless. And I'm pretty sure we're just gonna be on the same. I feel like it's a little dark right now. That helps me. Studio light. I just use daytime. Just use daytime light. So how is everybody doing today on this fine? What are we on, a Thursday? Or is the Wednesday? I think their profits would suffer if they grew to the size of Twitch without having everyone monetized from the start. It's a Thursday. Thank you, Storm. Yeah, I don't think I'm really that experienced or versed to kind of have this conversation with you, Stormy, right? It's kind of out of my ballpark. I don't know. I don't know what happens when a streaming service gets so big, right? I think what's interesting is, so you have new streaming services like Kick, right? Which are just streaming, similar to Twitch. But then we also have the rise of like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Live, places that aren't traditional places to do live video streams, but now because of their size and because streaming is so hot, they offer it, right? It's like I never thought I'd be like, oh, I gotta stream live on YouTube, right? But now I'm like, hey, why wouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? Every stream and costs Twitch money, and not everyone gets lots of non-profitable streams. Oh, so I hear what you're saying. So pretty much like all the non-affiliates, all the people that haven't been generating money. Which is like, I looked at the margins, it's like 75%, 70% of Twitch streamers are non-affiliate. So it definitely like it puts you up in the upper 20, upper 30%. Every viewer not subbing or having turbo or never giving bids cost Twitch money. Oh, you're making me feel bad, Storm. The big bad billionaires at Twitch and Company have been paying my service fees. I think, yeah, I need to go and do something more like that. It is a business. It is a business. Well, I think that's a good point to bring up too. You know, like internet and the servers and IPs and processing power, it tends to be like assumed to be free, right? But like it's not. Like running a server for internet costs money, like physically, electricity, space, rent, the parts, bandwidth, like all that. It all, you know, we might turn the computer on and internet is free when you turn it on, but everything behind it isn't necessarily free, right? It does add up. And then when that's all you do, it's a big upbringing, right? When you got millions and millions of people, that's an even bigger upbringing. Nice. Pop out chat so I can just ditch you. Don't need you anymore and just get my friends here chatting. Okay, and then one day we could put that in the OBS, but I don't even think having a chat on your capture is really that cool, because you can just see the chat when you type in the chat in the window next to your... So having a double chat just seems like you're, you know, redundant at that point. Like, why do you need a chat over here and a chat over here? I don't know, that's my thoughts on it. I'm gonna get my coffee. I'm gonna get back. And we're gonna get building in some worlds. I know Stormy's got a session coming up this weekend. Gabo and I have a werewolf game that we need to be ready for tonight, though. Twitch not. My trillion dollar company is so sad. Well, I can't make them make money. I can hardly make myself money, Storm. You think I can make them money? You think? Alright, enjoy some relaxing music while I prepare myself to create. friends. Let's do it. Yeah, so we finished. We were doing some random encounter sheets. Let's see where we left off. The succubus. Here we are. So we had just finished. Yes, that's right. We finished the Misty Forest. Which would leave us with Forlorn Hills in orange, which I think we started to an extent. We did. Yeah, we need some CR1s. Oh yeah, so I just started this and I need to finish this. So, okay, we'll start at the top and just work our way through it. So, let's see. You're down here. And you're down here. You're still there. Cool. D&D. Monster Filter. I'm looking for 1/2, I believe. Yeah. We need D4 1/2 creatures. I assume goblins. Ooh. Swarm of creatures. What I was excited about the Forlorn Hills is it was able to go through Forgotten Realms. On the Forlorn Hills. I should actually just bring that up. Let's check out the Forlorn Cliffs. In the Middle Dark and the Underdark. Not the same place. Yeah, so I was able to go here and kind of ascertain which creatures lore-based are here. And I think I've done a fairly good job of inserting the right creatures in the right place for these kind of lore-based. Goblins are always a good choice. So like for example, you know, not only just in the Forlorn Hills, but in the Misty Forest. The whole point of the Misty Forest is it's been this. It's two things. It's the last kind of bastion of woods from the grand Ardeep Forest of old, but it's been lashing out. It's been kind of attacking. It's an unsafe place to go for travelers, and it's been defending itself from the settlers of Daggerford and Baldur's Gate and abroad from deforestation, right? And travelers know to be wary of the Misty Forest and to not tread there lightly, right? So with that being said, you know, like there's an awful lot of power. There's like a presence to it and about it, and I really want to maybe flesh out some type of wild elf lore that kind of exists, because that is the last place in which the wild elves from like the Laughing Hollow just north in the Laughing Hills you know, it's where they all kind of sought refuge, right? So we have all these elves that have kind of found refuge there. We have these animals and these creatures in the forest itself seeking refuge there. It's like this bastion. It's called the Misty Forest. So I presume that, you know, maybe there's a green dragon somewhere in the midst of the forest, right? Or I should say in the mists of the forest. Quite literally, they would be the ones creating the mist, because that's one of the lair actions of a green dragon. And then I wanted to add a little bit more flavor to it. So what I thought was possibly, I've noticed a few Fey-touched creatures in the area in some Fey-touched regions, right? So, I mean, I was thinking a similar storyline to, like, one of my last stories was just, you know, a dragon was, you know, was there for a long period of time, but then maybe had left. And this dragon was just doing business or exploring or doing whatever interests a dragon, right? And they decided to take a little siesta to the Fey realm, which could have been, you know, 5 years, or it could have been 100 years. It could have, what felt like 100 years to a dragon could have been like 300 years to a human, you know? So this story about a dragon who maybe left the forest and came back and found his forest in turmoil and found his creatures and wild elf friends in need of help, and now is scornful and now is like upset and distraught of the current situation. It would not be a happy dragon anymore. So that's just kind of like a little bit of the story that I've fleshed out for some of the surrounding area. And just an example of how, like, where there isn't something I need, there's a lot of information to give me direction to pick something that I need, right? Copper dragons also exist here. And we have our 3 orc tribes in the late 15th century, so they're still there. So let's see. Copper. 2d6, 2d4, orc. Okay, so we're gonna have 3 bands of orcs, and they're all gonna have some flavor. Let's think about some flavor. We have the Fanged Moon, we have Gory Maul, and we have Jagged Scythe. 3 tribes of orcs. Do any of my viewers have any ideas here? We maybe have some, like, some orc druids. Maybe some barbarians, and then a motley crew. A bunch of bladed weapons. I'm just thinking quick, like. I want to have 3 distinct features or attributes to these tribes. Druids are always terrifying. I would surmise you probably know more than you think. But yeah, it's kind of definitely what we do on this channel. Where it's a deep dive of 5e lore. At least on my end, right? A lot of times my viewers will share what they're doing. Stormy plays in Pathfinder 2e, I believe it's 2e. So people on the channel will share other stuff, but dragon cult from the old dragon doesn't have to be evil per se. Well, there is rumor of copper dragons. Not even rumor, it's a usual inhabitants of the highest peaks. And it also says they rummaged around abandoned dwarf holds. So maybe one of these could be a copper dragon tribe. Let's reset filters. Let's go see what a copper dragon has to say about itself. Perfect. Yeah, I think that we're just going to go put that in now. Because I like dragons. Frightful presence, acid breath, a slowing breath, and then all your common dragon things. These effects last for 1 minute. Interesting. The copper dragon dwells in dry uplands or on hilltops, where they make their lairs in narrow caves. False walls in the lair hide secret antechambers where the dragon stores valuable ores, art objects, and other oddities it has collected over its lifetime. Worthless items are put out on display in open caves to tantalize treasure seekers and distract them from where the real treasure is hidden. Ooh, we love that. Lair actions. Stone spikes sprout from the ground. Turns into mud in a 10-foot area. So spikes or mud pits. Regional effects. Magic carvings of dragons' smiling visage can be seen worked into stone terrain and objects within 6 miles of the dragon's lair. Tiny beasts such as rodents and birds that are normally unable to speak gain the magical ability to speak and understand Draconic while within 1 mile of the dragon's lair. These creatures speak well of the dragon but can't divulge its whereabouts. Intelligent creatures within 1 mile of the dragon's lair are prone to fits of giggling. Even serious matters suddenly seem amusing. If the dragon dies, the magic carvings fade over the course of 10 days. Copper dragons are incorrigible pranksters, joke tellers, and riddlers that live in the hills and rocky uplands. Despite their gregarious and even-tempered natures, they possess a covetous, miserly streak, and can become dangerous when their hordes are threatened. A copper dragon has brow plates jutting over its eyes, extending to the back up to its long horns, that grow as a series of overlapping segments. Its back-swept cheek ridges and jaw frills give it a pensive look. At birth, a copper's dragon scales are a ruddy brown with a metallic tint. Chomp! As the dragon ages, its scales become more coppery in color, later taking on its green tint as it ages. I cannot do that voice that Royal does. It's rather impressive. A copper dragon appreciates wit, a good joke, humorous story, or a riddle. A copper dragon becomes annoyed with any creature that doesn't laugh at its jokes or accept its tricks with good humor. Copper dragons are particularly fond of bards. A dragon might carve out a part of its lair as a temporary abode for a bard, willing to regale it with stories, riddles, and music. To a copper dragon, such companionship is a treasure to be coveted. Cautiously and craftily, when building its hoard, a copper dragon prefers treasures from the earth. Metals, precious stones are favorites. Instead, it might send a curious treasure hunters on their wild goose chase to search for the object while it watches from afar for its own pleasure. Love it. Yeah, I think, Gabo, I think you're totally right. I think we're going to do a little dragon cult here. Now we got some information, though. Maybe not Fanged Moon. maybe Jagged Scythe? Or Gory Maul? Maybe that can be a thing where they raid and seek out bards on the road to supplant a bard at the top of their mountain in a dungeon of some sort. Let's see. You're gonna be orcs. Leader, 1d6 or 2d6, orc 1, change this to orc 1, which is going to be, we'll say, Gory Maul. Let's do them in 1, 2, 3 order, top to bottom. Why not? They're arbitrary strength values that I can just, assign however I want. So, Gory Maul and Jagged Scythe. Jagged Scythe. So this still begs the question is like, what are these three tribes going to be? Moon. I like them having some significance because this is a tier 2 area of the map. It's a place that these players might seek out adventure and gripping story for, a good portion of their campaign at a decent level. And so they'd be expecting a decent challenge, decent loot. Let's see, Moon. I think we have a lot to work with here. With this copper dragon that kind of sits on the top of the mountain. In general, these hills are crawling with goblins and orcs that harass not the tradeway, but the Iron Road just north of it. And they would also be responsible for, I believe, the current state of Succumber. Let me go look. I think that might be hobgoblins, though. Let me go look. So Succumber is a small farming village just up the river of Daggerford. So it's going to be an important town, I think, for me because of its proximity. But just north of Succumber is the place that we're kind of designing right now. These hills that hold dangerous things. Here we go. Yeah, so Succumber was built in the western ruins of Hastarl, capital of the ancient wizard kingdom of Athalantar. Athalantar, there we go, Athalantar, which is like, that is, I believe it's before the Spell Plague, and it's essentially the Sword Coast before humans existed as an entity of power. Like dwarves and elves kind of ruled the land at that point in time. By 1479, which is an awful lot of time to just skip over, Secumber had become a place under constant threat of hobgoblin raids. The citizens had erected a wall, which was their only defense against the raids, but it did them little good. Many adventuring bands were lost, trying to free the town from the grip of fear, and Secumber had resorted to leaving tributes outside Mishka's Warren, the lair of the Urshani clan, which did appease the hobgoblins, but did not free Secumber from the occasional raid. 20 years later, the regular stream of tributes to the hobgoblins had left Secumber poverty-stricken. So, let's find where this is. In the High Moors. Okay, so there we go. Shani were an unusually feral tribe of hobgoblins living in the High Moors. So that's awesome. Bada bing, we've done our research, and now we know that the hobgoblins aren't coming from the north, but they're coming from the south. See you, Gobbo. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tonight, eh? So we can go in reverse now, because we're not going to do the High Moor for a little tad bit. Gory Mall. Jagged Sight. Alright, so now I need some descriptions for these these war bands, these orc tribes. Tribe of moon druids. Who often took the form of wolves. They did not hesitate to attack intruders on their territory. Okay. Gory Mall. Let's see. What do you think? Those druids. And a tribe of barbarians. Abandoned malls. They actively raided the surrounding territory and targeted the Iron Road. gory mess after battle. And then we have Jagged Scythe. Excuse me. Ugh. Maybe I am a little sick. Maybe I am a little sick. Gotta be sneezing. Runny nose. It's only like a little bad, but like it's definitely not good. What do I want to do for these Jagged Scythers? I don't know what I want. I think it was very easy to pick something that is, but I think maybe these aren't all one type of people. Maybe these Jagged Scythers are like a smorgasbord. Maybe we can leave that to the goblins. Revenge of the Ideas, yes. I'm stalling out a little bit here, buddy. So I have the Fanged Moon, a tribe of moon druids who often took the form of wolves. They were not a raiding tribe, however, they did not hesitate to attack intruders on their territory. Gory Maul, a tribe of frenzied barbarians who wielded two-handed mauls. They actively raided the surrounding territory and targeted the Iron Road, a trade road. They did not take any prisoners, and they left but a gory mess after battle. And now we have Jagged Scythe, a tribe of... what, Stormy? Tribe of what? Ooh, and you see our 10 here too. No, they're orcs. They're already orcs by lore. So per the lore, that is 3 tribes of orcs by those names that have been given. Yeah, 10's pretty high. I think a decent amount of options here. Oh, actually... Young Copper Dragons. 4 young coppers? Tribe of Rourke, Bork, and Dork. What is even that? What is even that? Is what are you? So you can see what I'm seeing here. We have an orc tribe of the Fang Moon. We have an orc tribe of the Gory Maul. And we have an orc tribe of the Jagged Scythe. Not Orc, Mork, Dork, and Slork. Stormy. I think I like the idea of there being more dragons here and having all these goblins that kind of are like their little dragon shamans, dragon wards. I'm just trying. Yeah, like the kind of like the dichotomy of the power struggle is like the adult copper dragon's the ruler, but doesn't leave the lair too much, has everything it needs because it has droves of goblins that kind of work for them. And these goblins will be fairly lighthearted, chaotic neutrals, you know, like they're trying to scour and find as many things that they can bring back to their beloved dragon for praise and jokes and pranks, right? And magical gifts. So they're not really out there like trying to kill people for the sake of killing. They're trying to rob people more. And also like they wouldn't get along with, say, maybe the orcs, who are these tough tribes. So they either would be like the subservients to the orcs, or they could be a subservient to the dragon, who's chaotic good and really just like hanging out and having a good time, right? So I'll have a bunch of goofy goblins trying to play pranks and maybe like I think they would do like illusions and distractions, right? And spook people so that they could go and steal their stuff from their camp, and then they just run away. I think is kind of just like what I'm thinking for these goblins. But I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for these orcs here. I have a defensive. I have an offensive. I want these I mean, I guess just make them dangerous. They just need to have personality. They need to have flair. They need to be their own thing. That's what they need to be. Jagged Scythe, what do they do? We're gonna get rid of the bandits, because the bandits are just the orcs. Camping refuge. Risk versus reward and story piece. Huh. We did mysterious plants for the woods. What's a risk and reward we could do on the hill? What if the copper dragon convinced the goblins to serve it by being good to... That's exactly what I was thinking, Storm. So we have all these neutral or evil orcs that kind of sit on the hills and raid travelers, right? And then you have these goblins who would be the weaker of the two. So like they would either, you know, be serving the orcs with the other form of government, or they would be underneath the other pillar of power, which would be the dragon, I think. The copper dragon's a chaotic good creature, so I would surmise that they have a pretty good relationship. They are good hosts, and they appreciate wit and humor, right? So I think my idea for these goblins is they're not like evil, mean, raiding goblins. They're like sneaky, devious, Weasley goblins, where they kind of live on this hill and sneak around and try to steal from the tribes or steal from travelers, but they don't try to fight people, and they're only trying to steal these things so that they can bring back gifts for their copper dragon, to have a fun time, to have jokes, to maybe get a prank given to them or a gift given to them, because yeah, I also am not a big fan of inherent evil or good, right? I like having that gray line, where I guess yes and no. I don't like everything being inherently good and bad. I think there should be some inherent good and bad. I think it exists in the world, but I don't think everything exists in the world like that, right? So a good example would be, say, these goblins, who aren't necessarily trying to be bad, but for them to survive, they have to sneak and steal on this hill covered in orcs that would beat them up, right? Or surrounded by these creatures that would savage them. A Luprata, a wyvern, right? The hill giants. Everything's bigger than these goblins here. So out of survival, they steal and do what they can to give back praise and patronage to their dragon, who in turn protects them, right? Yeah, I think we're totally in agreement there, Stormy. And I think most of the good lore and most of the good fantasy that I kind of attribute to or enjoy has a lot of that duality and a lot of that gray area with the good and the bad and the lines that are drawn. But as with all things, I think there are a few characters, and whether it be real world or fantasy world, that should or just are, I think, in the real world standpoint, who are just like are evil characters, right? So a great way to look at everything, Stormy, in my opinion, is bell curve. You know, everything is a zoop, right? So at the top of the curve, there's a lot of gray. You know, when we get down to the bottoms on the either side, this is our inherent good, this is our inherent bad. There's a little bit of each, and we slowly get more and more gray as we get to the majority of people in the middle, as this bell curve rises to the top, statistically, right? I just think it's more fun. I think the story is more gripping. I think people and beings are more complex than just good and bad. And I think Dungeons & Dragons has started the conversation in a disservice with alignments. But I think alignments, in my opinion, are, again, I say this all the time, a tool. They are a tool that you use to tell stories with. And when that tool does not serve you, that tool should not be used anymore. So same thing with backstories, same thing with, you know, character descriptions, right? These can be important elements to your character and building them up, but also you shouldn't let them supersede the more important parts of the party, right? Oh, hey, what's up, Crafty? Crafty Kaiju, I like that. Welcome to my channel. I was just given a chat with Stormy here about the morality of Dungeons & Dragons, or just roleplay games in general. And Stormy and I, we're not necessarily big fans of inherent good and bad. We like a little bit more gray in our conflict. We like a little bit more moral dilemma. So that is a very big point. Perspective is everything when it comes to alignment, and it comes to your perception of, you know, evil and bad, right? And we used to make this joke all the time on our Friday night campaign as we were playing an evil party. And we were constantly being harassed by these quote-unquote lawful good angels that were trying to save the world. But we're like, dude, look at you angels just running through the world, literally like America almost, where they're just like, let's just blow everything up. Like, we're moving in and we're gonna blow it up for the name of justice. And like, we're the evil party over here, and we're like, are we the bad guys or is it the angels? Because it feels like it's them at this point, right? So, yeah, perspective is everything with morality. Maybe our newcomer can help. I haven't gotten any ideas out of you yet, Crafty Kaiju. So a lot of times we either share our ideas of what we're doing here. So Stormy plays in a Pathfinder game. But a lot of times I ask for help on what I'm building here. So I'm doing a 5e kind of world build, a lore-based world build, right around Daggerford here on the Sword Coast. And, well, I'm currently stuck on the description of this orc tribe. So these hills are the Forlorn Hills. They are infested with wild beasts, wyverns, lucrotas, and 3 different orc tribes. The Fanged Moon, a tribe of moon druids who often took the form of wolves. They were not a raiding tribe, however they did not hesitate to attack intruders. The Gory Maul orc tribe of frenzied barbarians who wielded two-handed mauls. They actively raided surrounding territory and targeted the Iron Road. They did not take prisoners, but they left a gory mess after battle. And then lastly, we have the orc tribe of Jagged Scythe, which is a tribe of... question mark? Ideas? Yeah, so, I mean, on morality, there's a few ways you can kind of look at that, and I feel like there's some people, in my opinion, beat the dead horse of, you know, like, oh, we shouldn't be killing everybody. Yeah, they could have used all their... So, like, there's gray in that decision, right? Is it just 3 kobolds in one room and then you leave and you're safe and you never come back again? Are you 20 rooms deep in a dungeon and you have no idea what's behind you or in front of you? So you're going to leave these 3 here for later, right? Did you even have supplies, right? Did you have ample amount of supplies to apprehend these players? Options, befriending the kobolds. Yeah, I think in that situation, it would feel like a lawful good creature would not be, in my opinion, would not be capable of just ganking those kobolds in their sleep. It's not a fair fight. They weren't posing a threat. But pretty much anybody not lawful good should be able to do something to them for the sake of their own safety, right? No, the most moral choice I think would have been to just leave them be and just sneak by them. Perhaps lock the door behind you, followed by tying them up and leaving them be. I mean, there's more questions to it, right? Have you been in a dungeon where kobolds have been actively attacking you at every turn? Are these the first kobolds you have met on this adventure? Have your characters ever met kobolds before? There's a lot that goes into these decisions, in my opinion. You know, it's not as simple as just like, what's your alignment say? I think Crafty Kaiju literally just rolled in at the perfect time and posed the perfect question. I agree. I think that's an option to be made. I think what we're trying to decide right now is, like, what is the most morally safe way to dispatch of them? And I think a lot, like I was saying before, like, a lot of people kind of beat the dead horse of, like, oh, you're just murder hoboing, yada yada, like, you can't just kill these kobolds. Like, yeah, you can. If I've been fighting kobolds for the past 3 hours and they've been trying to stab me, like, they raided the town, stole all the food, kidnapped the Duke's son. Did they kill people when they raided the town? Have they raided other people? Is it a common thing that they raid people? Because it's like, we get this weird perception, back what Stormy was saying, like, perception's everything, right? We get this perception of modern law where, like, cops aren't, I guess it's a bad thing, but, like, we're supposed to apprehend people and we're not, like, supposed to just be killing people in cold blood. But back in medieval time where everybody's trying to kill everybody, I think it's kind of okay to kill the people. You know, they killed some guards, they tried to kill you when they came to rescue the son. Yeah, I would think if they had blood on their hands already, proven blood, and this is proof, like, you have evidence that these are the kobolds and this is their lair. You know, like, this, so you're doing bad things in the name of good things. So therefore, unless you're a lawful good character, side maybe your lawful good paladin who's supposed to be kind of the cleanser, right? I'm thinking like lawful good druids and clerics, like the super PCPs, pacifist players. Like, apart from those players, like, everybody would have a reason to go out there and kill these kobolds. Everybody would have reason to dispatch these kobolds in some fashion. That's what you're doing. Or the option is you let them raid the town and kill more guards. Right? So that's a life and death situation. Also, you've put yourself in this situation, so the kobolds have threatened your life now that you're in this dungeon. He was a pseudo dragon, and they stole all the food to force feed him until he was big enough to ride. Yeah, I mean, they broke into the town, they killed people on their way in and out, and they stole the Duke's son for their own selfish means. I know kobolds are covetous creatures of dragons, and they enjoy dragon company and wyvern company. Who had a storyline just like this? Was it Serum? They just had a kobolds in the cave, and they had it's funny you bring this up, Crafty, because one of my other followers was just chatting about this. So I think with those points being made, Crafty, like, you definitely have ample reasons to maybe dispatch of these people. Now, is the cleric going to go up there and gank these people in their sleep? Never heard of puking? So, like, as a dungeon master, that would be how I would rule this situation. Knowing all the information now, I would have no issue or start any moral dilemmas with these characters, unless, of course, the cleric draws a dagger and says, yeah, we're gonna murk these guys in the name of God. Like, chill, right? Well, they are kobolds too, so they're not necessarily the most strategic of creatures. I think they would have organization and planning, but maybe not the most sound logic. But that's back to the perspective, right? That's back to the perspective thing. And that's why I don't like inherent good and bad, because if you have inherent good and bad, then that means your angels can't kill anything. And that's not a very fun world. And that's also against lore, because quite literally, the angels kill things all the time. Like, the celestials kill things all the time. It's a constant battle of power between good and bad. right? You know who I'm talking about. Angels where? You know, so it's like, if you have that morality of black and white, you know, your so-called holy people should not be allowed to cross that line. And we have plenty of evidence of them crossing that line. Therefore, I don't think that line does exist. And or, again, like I said, I just don't like running games with that line being that strong. I like having a very blurred line. How do you feel about morality, Lore Master? Was, what's her name? What's her name? Rhea? Was it Rhea? Is Rhea good or bad? Who is the main one? I forget the main one. I'm blanking out on it right now. Raylan, yeah. Is Raylan good or bad, right? Like, how much bad things did Raylan have to do just to do one good thing, right? Has been persecuted for witchcraft, and they think hags generally get a bad rap. Yeah, so I think the player should have more of the decision here than the character sheet and what that alignment says, right? So I think what Stormy says, the perspective of the individual and their belief system, right? So if you were an Underdark living, Shar worshipping drow, your perspective of good and bad is much different than a Bible thumping cleric from El Turel, right? And then also, like Crafty's saying, your personal character is going to have perceptions on that, right? Maybe you're a druid and you're partial to plants, and you don't think plants should die, so you're never going to attack any plants, right? And that's just what you think. Alignment is there. I mean, but like throw it in the list of things that are oversimplified in D&D. I think the beauty of the 5e system is its simplicity, but I also think there's a few things that are overly simple. Like, another example I think would be like inspiration points. Would have told the line Raylan was super pacifist, but then again, a pacifist could be considered evil or immoral for inaction in the right situation. Yeah, we explored this heavy. And I think even still, so like if you're a pacifist and you're out in the world casting buffs, spells, and enabling a bunch of people around you to kill things, are you still a pacifist? Just because you're using non-attacking spells doesn't mean you're not aiding somebody to, you know, your bless gave them an extra D4, your sanctuary kept them alive, you know, so it's like the morality, even with a pacifist character, can be questioned at times. I think this is where fun stories are told. Where you get these gripping, really real life feeling stories where you empathize for the characters, either yourself or the pillar characters of the story. It actually brings up a good point, right? So, like, bear with me now. If you were, like, say, a neutral character, word. If you're playing, like, more of a neutral character and, like, somebody was detecting evil on you as you were trying to do something bad, like you're trying to fulfill an evil fantasy, Like, would you be evil at that point? Would your alignment change, or are you just like? So when it comes to spells like detect, in my opinion, the mechanic becomes very dry, and it goes down to your alignment, right? It goes down to what morally you are on paper, but then you add your perspective to the moral, right? So like if you were to detect evil and you were an evil person, you're detecting your friend, right? You're detecting somebody that could be a potential ally to an extent. Let's see. There is also how many evil traits or things of your belief can someone have before they are detected as evil. So I think that, again, I think this is another important thing to kind of distinguish to is like our morality in real life and our morality in fantasy games, right? So like I personally am not a big proponent of faith due to I read and seen a lot of history of what comes along with like the Catholic Church, right? And not to get in it too specifically, but like kind of what you said is like how many evil traits or things does your belief like justify before you are considered an evil entity, right? And I think that distinguishment in life is a big difference between that and like in play, because in play we have this mechanic now with alignment, and it's quite literally used as like it's like a race checker or a stat checker, right? It's like you're just trying to ascertain a piece of that sheet that you then can ascertain some information about. It's not going to give you all the answers. With the rest of his neutral good and chaotic good party, there's a lot of conflict over morality. He was an old soldier and had seen a lot of killing. They all thought he was a dangerous sociopath, right? So I think I feel you on that, Crafty. One of this last sessions I played with, I had one of the characters in it was a cleric, I believe, and like they're on me the whole time about me like protecting myself and keeping myself alive, you know, and I'm like whoa, like I'm not being a murder this is not murder hobo. Like whatever you thought murder hobo was, this is not it. Like this is me just playing Dungeons and Dragons and killing the things that threaten me, you know? And like this idea that you have to literally be friends and talk your way through every encounter in D&D or you're a murder hobo is like this extreme black and white that I just don't like playing with. It doesn't make for a fun game for me. I like gray. Give me that gray in the middle. So, belief doesn't have a point system. And I think the line is drawn by the character, right? Whoever's perceiving at that time. If it's the druid, if it's the fighter, if it's the rogue, if it's the dungeon master. I think the dungeon master has to have a bit more unbiased decision-making process to like roleplay those characters effectively and kind of make them come to life. But these are the important questions that I think I ask when I have a character that I'm bringing in an NPC as the dungeon master, because, you know, I want to know what drives people. I want to know what inspires people. You know, why are these goblins raiding people for loot as opposed to not doing something else? Why aren't these goblins, you know, having a garden and growing potatoes, right? You know, like there's a reason, there should be a reason why. They're people. How do you mean, Lore Master? Do you want to expand a little bit on piety? Breaking anathemas at the moment, I think should be instantly put someone as evil, but petty thievery for survival, not following customs, actively being a douche. Where is the line drawn for the detect evil? So for specifically detect evil, I think the conversation of perspective and morality stops. because we're now using the mechanic, and the mechanic is simply, again, a tool that we use to help us tell story. And when that tool doesn't serve us, or is the wrong tool for the time, we don't use it, right? So detect evil can tell you a creature is evil, but that's not going to tell you that they're going to do evil things. It just lets you know that they're an evil creature. And what you decide evil is up to you, right? If I am a wizard from the 9th level of hell that is dead set on creating a drug empire, and I see an evil character with my detect evil, well, then I would not really consider them that evil. They are an ally. They are a friend. They are someone I could possibly work with, right? Could be the other's lawful evil in casting detect evil. No, I don't think so. I think the morality and alignment are two different things. I think they play with each other, and they are in the same conversation. And because of alignment, we have this conversation about morality. But morality and alignment are two different things. And I think this only comes down to like when you bring up like the mechanical basis of detect evil or detect good, right? I think that's the only time we have to make this distinction, because otherwise you add conversation to it. You say, what's your alignment, and right? But detect evil and detect good don't get into that. They simply just detect your alignment, which is, again, a small calling card of what could describe your character, but is not going to describe everything your character might do. And also, evil characters are not withholden from doing good things. You know, just because you are a thieving robber who steals every day doesn't mean you don't have the kindness in your heart to give the homeless kid on the street an apple because you had an extra $5 that day. You know, that doesn't make you incapable of doing those things. It doesn't make you a good person now. It doesn't make you detect good on the detect good alignment checker. You're still an evil robber, thieving son of a bee, right? And vice versa. Just because you're a good person doesn't mean doing a bad thing is completely outside of your power. You're not beholden to only do good things. And again, this is my perspective of what I think a D&D world or a TTRPG world should feel like. Because I think it's a more fun way to look at morality. But I think if you're going to start getting into the semantics of the mechanics behind that in our expansive gray conversation, like, you're just gonna it's just gonna be a pain in the butt, you know, because there is no mechanics anymore. It's a conversation every time, you know. There's no way you can make a mechanic for it, and I think that's probably the reason why alignment's is so underdone, is so simple, is because they're like, well, we're really gonna get into the weeds if we start adding more specifics and pulling apart this conversation of morality, right? I think it really changes things around a significant bit. Because, you know, like, how would you go about making mechanics for that? I don't even know. Let's see, I'm gonna take a $5. We're gonna stand up here and get back into the office. We're gonna start finishing up on the I think we're gonna do a tier 3 finally. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And I think another 2 points I want to make about that before I go is firstly, you know, the alignment is going to be different based off of your pantheon, right? But also, like, the pantheons, like, they're very active, right? So in real world, we have this conversation of what is the pantheon? Is there one? Is there many? Who can prove it? In our fantasy world of D&D, we know there's tons of pantheons, and we know they're actual entities of power, and we know that they actually do things and are active in the world. So that just changes your point even more, right? Stormy, that just adds to the fire, right? Piety by performing certain tasks that their god and religious order deem to align with their virtues. It shows how far along a path a character has walked to emulating whichever god they have chosen. While a follower of evil death god may have committed more immoral or ambiguous endeavors, the war priest of a good aligned god can have committed some real atrocities. Piety is cool because it gives buffs and new feats. Oh, so piety is a mechanic system aside from alignment that kind of speaks to what me and Stormy and Crafty have been talking about, right? Where you can be the good aligned war priest, right? But you definitely had to bop a few skulls to get where you got. But you have like 100 piety and like minus 10 piety, so you're sitting at 90. You're still like 90% good, kinda, right? But that's just going to make things confusing, I think. Unless you let people know that, Stormy. Yeah, and I think, you know, like, with piety, it's like, it's more or less a service to one pantheon as opposed to doing good and bad things, right? It's like a job for your boss here at this point. Yes, 100% Stormy, and I think piety actually kind of explains that a bit better. Is piety in the DMG? It's a Thero supplement. All right, I'll be right back, everybody. Hang tight. Oh, nice! Juan made it! You know what's cool about this? The OBS has built-in fade transitions. So my illiterate butt appreciates that on the multi-screen. Let's see. Yeah. All very subjective, and I think it's important for the character because it's like I think a death cleric speaks the most to that conversation, and I think 5e has kind of answered that with like the neutrality of necrotic casting. Right? Where they've allowed that to be on both sides of the moral compass. And I think what Lore Master brings up, it speaks to your point, Stormy, right? Where it's like, whatever that pantheon is, right? Whatever you're actually worshipping. I'm cold every day, Juan. I have been putting off my bag of iced peas on my shoulder because it drops my core temperature like 10 degrees. I'm just like all right. Let's go. Oh, I have some more brains. Help me build my world. So we need to figure something out for the Jagged Scythe tribe. They're a tribe of orcs. We have a tribe of orcs on the Forlorn Hills. They're neighboring tribes, brother and sister tribes, Fanged Moon, a tribe of druids who often take on the form of wolves. The Gory Maul, who are frenzy barbarians who often wield two-handed mauls. Jagged Scythe be? Some fighters, some rogues. I think I have Jagged Scythe as the lowest on the thing. Maybe they'll just be regular orc. Yeah. Tribe of maybe all three of these, they're like one tribe in together. Oh, yeah, yes. Thank you. I gotta bring that down. There we are. Actively keeps the grass short due to constant training and likes to cut off feet. Oh, we have a new chatter here. Ravan Var. I'm gonna call you Ravna. There we go. What up? What up, Ravna? What's your idea? A tribe of outcasts. Yeah, protected half orcs, maybe. Rav is fine. Cool. Awesome. Conflicts against said tribe result in strange deaths for any wounded. Mystery that it's just incredibly rusty weapons leading to nasty infections. I like that. Maybe, all right, we're gonna take Rav's idea here. We're gonna run with it a little bit. So, a tribe of outcasts, a tribe of outcasts, those not accepted into gory or fanged. They wield rusty and battle-worn weapons. Let's see. Let's maybe do like -1 to hit. Add con save. Poisoned. This actually makes them like fairly formidable. Con save to be poisoned, because then you get disadvantage on attacks, they get advantage to attack you. Whole bunch of things happen when you get poisoned. Oh, and I kind of like this, because mauls aren't really a weapon that takes much crafting. So very much there'd be like mauls that they've made themselves. And then the druids wouldn't even use a weapon. They'd have like a staff, right? Or their wolf form. And then you have the Jagged Scythes, who only use all these beaten up weapons. So like these three tribes who don't have access to smiths or don't have access to, you know, modern technology. Two tribes are just like, hey, we don't need that. We'll find a different way. But then the last tribe's like, hey, we literally just use the leftovers of all of our raids. I kind of like that. Con save to be poisoned. Let's try and scour some creature scores here at 1/2 to see if we can find some DCs that are, you know, acceptable. But I think I'm just going to use the orc here. So what's up, Rav? Welcome to the channel. You'll see us often just talking about D&D here. I do a lot of creation myself with my world that I'm doing. It's a fully fleshed out 5e lore-based rendition of Daggerford for a homebrew open world campaign that I'm starting. But yeah, we all play all sorts of stuff here. Are you into D&D, Rav, or do you play other roleplay games? And so my intention for these two parties is to make them formidable on the scale of difficulty, as now we are in tier 2. And I personally would like to start throwing out creature score more and start using more player-to-player level matching. So like if I have 4 players that are all level 4, I want 4 orcs that are all level 4. Or at least let them be rolled for on the sheet, so 2d6 level 4 orcs. They'll all be the same class, they'll all be the same Moon Druid or their same Frenzy Barbarian, so I'll just have to make one sheet for them all. But their power scale will be a little bit tweaked up. In the coming months, I don't think I'm physically ready to take on a campaign, as I'm physically struggling to keep up with everything else right now with recovery and stuff. So I am kind of putting it off a little bit until I feel healthier and more like I have more energy in the tank to kind of give out. But in the next few months, was February 1st. Yeah, by the end of winter, beginning of spring, in that range. You're a writer. You just tend to think about little ideas and run crazy for inspiration. Yeah. So you like the story that Dungeons and Dragons bring. You'd probably, Rav, would be a great Dungeons and Dragons player. Oh my goodness. Not in 2024. We have Reddit, we have Discord. Yes. Here, I'll send you an invite to Lore Masters. Come join our community where we like to play really roleplay focused Dungeons and Dragons. Like I used to play, I came from advanced D&D because it's just kind of how I learned, and I never roleplayed that much. And then I started hanging out with all my friends here on the Lore Masters, and like all we do is roleplay. It's like it's the majority of our session. So it's great for somebody who likes the story, the element, that vibe. Running with a crazy story. I thought you had a great... You showed up. You're here for 5 seconds, Rav. You had a great idea. It's a perfect D&D idea. Yeah, so... it all depends on your pantheon. Okay, so I'm looking for something that's gonna commit a save on somebody in some fashion. So just like a fear... ability. Yeah, perfect. DC 11. Or fall prone. DC 11 or be poisoned. DC 11 con save to be poisoned. How do they get rid of this poison? Ooh, there you go. Pathfinder is made by Pazio, who has once worked on Dungeons and Dragons, and is a very akin system. I would say Pathfinder is a little bit more crunchy than DND5e, but that's not to make it better or worse in any sense. Just a perspective. So I think we're done here. Rock Falls, Copper Goblins, Gory Maul, Jagged Scythe, Copper Goblins, Etten, Copper Goblins, Gory Maul, Fang Moon, plus their leader. Camping Refuge. Oh, risk versus reward. So this is another thing we can ask for some help on. See what great ideas my community has. Yeah, come check us out. We're a LGBTQ safe space that is just all focused around Dungeons and Dragons, but we also play like some other games. Like we'll play TFT, Magic the Gathering, some tabletop games. Several of the people here in chat are part of the girls. Yeah. I'm not one of the girls, but I am an ally. So. I'll be channeling the girly pop energy though. So this is what we're doing next. It's a risk versus reward. Ready? So this is actually from Serum 2 days ago, my last stream. They gave us the cool idea. We're in the Misty Forest, a magical enchanted forest that wants to attack people that come in it, right? So they have the mysterious plants risk versus reward encounter, where on a DC 10 nature check, you can discern the properties of these mysterious plants. If you DC 15 stealth, you won't activate the plants. And then, of course, if you get a DC 20, you can harvest said plants if you choose to. If you fail either of those rolls, then they'll release a poisonous pollen in the area. And inside of this kind of grove of these plants is a gaggle of dead travelers who, of course, have succumbed to the poison. And there might be some nice, pristine pieces of loot sitting on these travelers that you might want to go and grab. So we have a risk, these plants that might kill you, and a reward. If you're really good at nature, you can harvest some poison, or if you're really good at stealth and nature, then you can get in there and you can loot these travelers as well. Or maybe you have another way in and out, right? I think maybe setting up a situation where a wizard might be able to portal in safely, loot, and then portal out, and I can charge them 2 spell slots. I'd love that, right? That's what I'm looking for encounters, is like trying to force my players to just use some of their resources to solve a problem. So that's in the Misty Forest, these mysterious plants that you got to sneak around or they'll poison you. We're going to go to the Forlorn Hills, which is a treacherous mountainside that's kind of collapsed more into a hillside with a single peak. And at the top, an adult copper dragon rules at the top of the heap with all these laughing goblins that gaggle around. And apart from that, there's several beasts and a few tribes of orcs that we've named. What is a risk versus reward encounter we could do for our encounter cheat here? It could be anything, right? It could be anything. It could be you find a copper dragon egg, right? You can find maybe it's a copper dragon egg, and if you go near the egg or touch the egg, then dragons will attack you. But I don't know. Nice, awesome, Stormy. Go definitely check out our scrying page and put a post on there. We have people that are definitely looking for games. Yes, we were just talking about that yesterday, actually. Foundry's gonna kind of join the join the upper echelons of D&D Beyond and Wizards of the Coast. They're like they're part of the gang now. They're in the group. What are you thinking here? Hasbro bought it and probably canned it because they don't see a good business idea in front of them if it bit them in the face. Like, to have that big of a budget and that big of an upbringing, and to not either A, fund somebody and make them your little baby, like Foundry, finally, or B, just do it yourself and make way more money off of it, is crazy, right? But like we're in the upper, or the beginning stages of this big VTT war that's gonna kind of take off here. Yeah, but neither was D&D Beyond, right? But like they made a good product that works, that the community loves. You know, here's a crazy idea. Instead of just throwing endless content at us, start supporting your product. We don't need another module. I gotta get some water. Yeah, well, I think it's like, it's almost, it can be a bad business idea and sometimes to try to do something over something, right? So it's like, if you're going to make a D&D Beyond website that's exactly like D&D Beyond, but you already have X amount of people on D&D Beyond, you then now have to pull them off of that and put them onto yours, right? Sometimes it's easier just to buy that company and just move the title over. Which I think is like a similar move as what they're doing with Foundry. Because Foundry has like a huge following, right? I'd put it up there in like the top 2, top 3 VTTs, right? Yeah. Is not the same as purchasing, yes. Yeah, it's also you can like input stuff to it too. I think that's like support for something goes a long way. So it's like when you have an entire community worth of mods for Foundry to allow you to do what you want with it, it's really nice. People were a little concerned about what that meant for some of these mods that might not have been legally sourced now that they're partnering. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Maybe I want to do something funny with goats. I still need one for back in the Laughing Hill. So I need two encounters, a tier 1 and a tier 2 encounter for hilly areas. Move on to the Sunken Plateau now, moving into the pink. Let's see. At Rav, you should definitely pick your roles on the Lore Master, so that way when somebody does post on our Scribe page, you'll get a notification that a new game has been posted. And I would definitely encourage you to kind of just reach out there. I mean, it normally takes about a month or two to acquiesce a group, you know, just through talking and putting out applications and yada yada, all that. But if you put a little effort in, you know, on Reddit and with some forums and with other Discord channels, you can find a game somewhere. There's definitely people looking to play. I don't think there's ever been more people. Or a better time too. So please come join us. Yeah, me and Stormy both waiting for that DA update, hey? No bad will never leave in their owner RTD, so why not? Yeah. And this also could be very well like them stalling for time too, right? Like they could be still working on that VTT behind the scenes and plan to release that at a later date to capitalize on more of the market, you know? Shogun? A skulk. Skulks are the soulless shells of travelers who became lost in the Shadowfell, wandering its gray waste until the loss of all sense. Well, we're not in the Shadowfell, so. Merfolk? Oh. We love it. Cockatrice. We love it. Ooh, giant swan, giant eagle. Like eagle. Neutral good, large beast. What? I actually found something I don't have. What's going on with laws in China? I have no idea. Did I put Griffin on the last one? Wyverns. I do have Griffins. Huh. No more gotcha, daily login rewards, cereal discounts, first time purchase discounts for Wait, what? You telling me they had to change the monetization style of their gaming model? Oh no! Lost them 80 billion? I believe it. I literally can't play their games because they're just like, they're not fun because there's so much RNG that is based in like buying gems, bits, and currencies, you know? Oh yeah, it's way more in favor. It's going to create a better game and a better product. And that's $80 billion back in the hands of consumers, right? I guess Giant Toad works here. Harpies also work here. Yeah, we love it. Like I can ramp this up too. Like I'm running like 20% right now. With Western government to avoid these things there to enter Chinese market, and it costs more to have two different versions of the same game. Yes, it does. Well, very good point, Stormy. Giant lizards. CR4. Sea Hag. I dig that. And if any of the players want to kind of pursue it, then we'll make a little hag in a coastal bog somewhere that allows it to become a thing. Oh, cool! Looks like we're getting a raid coming in here. Bring us to the world. Show everybody what we're working on. Hey, what's going on, Crispy? Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. welcome to my channel where we just it's kind of like a dungeon master idea safe space where it's like it's mostly just me making my world, right? But all my viewers like to share, you know, what they got going on, their D&D projects or Pathfinder, whatever it is, right? Sometimes I ask for help. I think Rav just helped me finish this little piece right here for my Jagged Scythe orcs. Serum helped me with this one the other day, right? So we're currently, what we're doing is we're building some random encounter sheets. Just kind of try to flesh out the area. And I think I've done a pretty good job of making it as lore-based as I can. I do a lot of work over here on Forgotten Realms wiki. So I was really I think sometimes it's like they make it so easy for you, right? Like we'll just come down, where was it? Yeah, inhabitants. Like I'm making a random encounter sheet for this area, and I just come to Forgotten Realms and they're like, yo, Wyverns, Lucrata, Hill Giants, Ettins, 3 orc tribes, Goblinoids, Brigands and Bandits if I want them. I forego using them because I thought having cooler orc tribes would be better. You know, it's like sometimes it's really easy, and I feel like Forgotten Realms just like sets me up for success big time. Well, we get into it. A lot of times, you know, Dungeons and Dragons brings in some morality into conversation, right? The idea of, you know, pantheon structures or geopolitics. A lot of real world things kind of translate into our fantasy, right? We had a big conversation before you all showed up about morality with alignments and how, you know, good and evil isn't necessarily black and white, especially in a world where we have evidence of multiple gods existing and multiple gods meddling actively in the world, right? So yeah, things can look a bit different. Yeah, conclusion was we agreed there was no decision to be made, and the decision must be made on the spot at all times, like any good dungeon master should. Let's see. Okay, so back to here. We're doing the Sunken Plateau. Well, we have some new people. Maybe I can bring up my my GIMP capture. I'll show you the map I've been working off of. So, you know, world building is many things, right? I wear many hats. I am a historian. I am a researcher. I am a map maker, an artist, an actor. You know. So, give me a second. I'll bring up one of the maps that I made, and actually I'm fairly proud of this map because, again, lore specific. I was able to find some materials off of D&D websites and stuff that allowed me to, you know, use the real piece. It's like came right off of Wizards of the Coast website. I'm in my OBS right now. Give me a moment as I switch our capture. We'll just add a display over the top right now. So now y'all can see here the kind of the map that I'm working on. So the campaign is themed around Daggerford. And around Daggerford we have several regions that I've kind of denoted via colors here. We just finished this orange section named the Forlorn Hills. And now we are down here in this pink section, which is, I think we decided it was going to be named the Sunken Plateau. And then after that is done, we're left with just this yellow and the blue on the High Moors, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. And then the Trollbark Forest, which some of you might be, depending on where you've kind of existed on the Sword Coast. Some of you might be familiar with Daggerford. Yeah. So let's get us back. I'm going to leave this up for my own discretion too behind the scenes. So yeah, so that we're working in the pink section. It's a plateau, very large cliff along the coast. It seemed fairly flat, so there was some grass land. It felt like there was some grasslands and then just like a sheer cutoff. So I thought maybe like cockatrices, giant toads. There's a swamp right next door. The sunken part is it's sinking down to the lizard marsh. So I thought maybe just some neighboring creatures could have been bordered there. Giant lizards. And then I just ended with a sea hag at creature score 4. Which I think is really cool. So a bit about the sea hag is one thing I like to do with my campaigns, or at least now something that I'm trying to do, is make things important when they become important. So I think right off the bat, I'm like, oh, a sea hag that is part of a coven, right? And they maybe operate on the coast there, because it's a little bit, it's far away from Daggerford and far away from Baldur's Gate, right? So they'd have some agency, and maybe they have like a little cove underneath the cliff where it's too treacherous for travelers to get to, so it's a very safe spot for these hags to set up shop, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea, but not going to flesh it out, not going to build it, and I'm not going to make it a thing until, of course, my players roll a 7 in the pink zone, and we fight the hag. And then one of my players goes, oh, I wonder if there's more hags. Can I roll an investigation check to find more hags? Yes, you can! Yes, you can roll an investigation check, and yes, there might be more hags, right? It's something that I've been kind of trying to change in my DM style, which is like shine the light on what your players want the light to be shined upon, as opposed to this really cool story that I've wrote. Friendly cult sounds good. Take it as easy, Crispy. Thanks for the raid. Yeah, the robes here are free. Resistance to the element of the dragon it was made from. Ooh. So, like, I think that's a really cool idea. That's, again, like, speaking on, you know, what I was saying before, where it's like, make it something important when that moment arises, right? So, like, if a player finds some dragon scales, and they're like, oh, I really want to do something cool with these dragon scales. Like, alright, bada bing, resistance to the element of the dragon, of the scales you took it from, right? That is actually a baller idea, Rav. How are you not a Dungeons & Dragons player with an idea like that? I am blown away. You chill the dragon scale, and then you drop it in the freaking drink like a whiskey stone. And they're the most buku baller-ass whiskey stones I've ever heard of. Maybe some rich dude drops dragon scales in their drinks. I love that. Bandits, barnacle biss, bloodhawks, dolphins. That would be great. The dolphins jump up and sprout legs. No, I'm just kidding. Giant crabs. Giant crabs is perfect. Giant crabs. Creature score 1. Maybe there's a there's a hot and a cold side to this story, right? Like red dragon scales, they heat up very well, and you can put them in your soup to heat it back up, right? Or blue dragon scales are very cold, and they can drop those in your drink to keep it cool. Either way, you can run with that. Have I used harpies here yet? I don't think I have, and I think I will now. Harpies and a harpy plus. So something I like to do is add a little bit of difficulty to an encounter by just like making one of those individuals a standout, like a captain, right? Give them like a +2 shield and a +2 sword. Give them a staff of fireballs, right? Give them one item or like a couple things that makes them distinguished. And then just add them to a trove of regular those things, right? So you could do it with orcs, hobgoblins. You could do it with a lot of different things, right? So like maybe this harpy leader has like a necklace of fireball that she stole off of some adventures and has 9 charges left. You know what I'm saying? Like that's super fun and easy to do. I don't think I'm gonna roll with the 9 fireballs because that's pretty big. That's a lot. Yes, but I mean when you have a drink that you don't want to add water to. Specifically like a whiskey, which I personally like a little water in my whiskey. I think it makes it come to life, but creature score 2. Man, Captain. Are we on coast? We are on coast. Embrick, Fala, Griffin, Marrow, Minyar, Ogre Skeleton, Sea Hags. Yeah, just like some regular hags. Emblem of sorts. Get it? Homebrew tender bartender. Yeah, I used to bartend. I just serve mainly beer, but I drink a whiskey from time to time. I used to drink. I don't really drink so much anymore. It doesn't help with my shoulder at all, really. But yeah, so whiskey, like if you add an ice cube to a drink, like an ice cube's going to continue to melt and bring down the temperature, add water to that drink. And so with the whiskey, you normally want to keep that drink pristine and don't want to add anything to it. So which is why whiskey stones tend to be like little stones that you would put into the freezer, and then you can drop a frozen rock into your drink. As opposed to putting an ice cube. Creature half score. Creature half. The lizard folk tribe. I don't want to overdo the tribe. I do have lizard folks in the marsh just below. Which is, I thought the hags for like a political power or like someone who has power in this region. A coven of sea hags would be good. Fiendish giant spiders. What do we need here? We need 2d4 or 1/2. I think we'll double it and add some birds. That's a fair question. I guess yes? I don't know what the lore is of hag. I mean, from the little bit of hag lore I know from, like, Baldur's Gate, like, I don't believe hags reproduce in the traditional fashion. Like, they reproduce through, like, magical meddlings. I think it's gonna take Bloodhawk and... I could just reuse it, yeah. Oh. 2d6. 44. 2d6 or 2 to 12 or 4 to 16. Yeah, 4 to 16. Blood Ox. Creature score 6. Yeah, so that is official. That is official lore. The disrespect. That hags can repress by meeting with man, but only the most deranged men available. Yeah. Ooh, Cyclops. CR10s. Stone Giants. Give us all some wiggle room here. Flind. The Flail of Pain. Wow, dude, this is actually... This is literally the dude from, Same as Baldur's Gate. That's cool. It definitely seems like you know a thing or two about a hag. A Marid, a large elemental. A genie. Why would that be there? Ooh, a rock. I think a rock works. 1d4 rock. Sea hags again. The coven themselves. And then the creature scores 16, something big. Do 14, 20. Dragon turtle. Ooh. Ooh, Gnostic cults have also been known to perform arduous rituals to summon or find destroy coastal communities. Those cultists often consider it a blessing to drown themselves in. Yes, perfect! So check this out, ready? And this little bit of story that we run with and just keep running. So, we have, on the coasts, effectively, a large cliff that looks out to the sea. And underneath this cliff, we have a little coven of hags and a little cave and a cove, right? There's one or two ways that you can encounter these hags up on top of the plateau, them just like roaming around doing no good things. And there's also this Leviathan, and the story that we're going to have here is these hags, as a coven, summoned through ritual this Leviathan of water to do not only protect their cove, but to thrash out at ships. And all sailors know to stay away from this portion of the map. And they kind of will be another one of the reasons why people are scared of the coast near Daggerford, because of the lizard marsh, because of the sunken plateau. Six times, and yeah, I've played around with it with hags a few times. I think they're great for story. And an insatiable all-eating rat. That's hysterical. Let's see. So I think that's it for all my tier 2s here. I think we're gonna come back and I think I'll tweak on these. I need to really sit down and think about these story pieces. I think Hag Coven. Hidden in the cliffs is a good direction to go with that. Yeah, next we get the Trollbark Forest in the High Moors. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah, I'm working my way there, Sheezy. Definitely a big thank you to all my support. I've felt the difference lately. So I appreciate everybody being here and hanging out, because it's kind of just what we've been doing, you know? It's what my channel's kind of about, is just Just a bunch of dungeon masters talking about dungeon master stuff. You know, whether it's a bounce back for your ideas or a help me with my ideas. I think that's my favorite, is when I have, you know, people come in and drop just that little bit of knowledge for me on a cool idea, like these poisoned weapons that I then flavored as like rusty battle-worn weapons. You know, like you can take one idea and mold it and make it fit into so many different, you know, ways. So yeah. Yeah, I've started streaming over on Kick, so I'm successfully multicasting right now. I'm streaming to Kick and Twitch right now. It was kind of the beginning of today's session was a little production work, but I've figured it out since forth. At Daggerford on Kick streaming. You can definitely check me out if I'm not on Twitch. I think I'm gonna start pushing over to Kick a little bit more, just to lower my streamed hours on Twitch, so I can maybe help my average go up a little bit quicker there. And then in the future, I'll probably add to YouTube, and Trovo, I think, works as well. So whatever your preferred streaming platform may be, you might be able to find me on it. Because, you know, checking after, like, you know, the full run, it's like, whew, I'm getting down to like 15% computer usage sometimes in my literal just like Google Sheets, you know. So it's not like I'm doing anything demanding of my computer. Yeah, definitely don't think I'll be like streaming Baldur's Gate with multicast. That's asking a lot, but I review time is counted while streaming, I think. Yeah, it's per hour. It's per hour, and you need to have an average over the month. But like for the month, you only need to stream 7 days. So it's like I stream Monday to Friday, you know, four weeks out of the month. So that's 16. It's almost twice as much as I'd need to. So I think if I cut back that a little bit and, you know, shoot for maybe 2 to 3 times a week, you might see me a little bit less during the week, but I think it'll get me to affiliate a bit faster. And then once I'm affiliate, I'll just go right back. I want to stream 5 days a week. You know, that's my intended goal. So yeah. I wonder if there's any more coffee. Should I get some more coffee? Yeah, so actually I've started looking into analytics a bit more. And surprisingly enough, I have a fairly good stream schedule. So I don't think too much needs to change, really. Provided for Dungeons and Dragons stream schedule, right? For world building like I'm doing. Yeah, like 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. midday is a fairly is a fairly on average high point in the day. There's a couple other high points that I could shoot for, but like one of them was like Saturday morning at like 3 a.m. for me. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a 2 to 4 a.m. stream. You check that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna check. Oh, you check that, and I'll check coffee. Why would I want to stream at a low point? Kingmaker slots, top row, less competition. Oh, I don't even know what these things are. My current goal for that conversation is to just become affiliate, so that way I'm in just at least in the upper 20-25% of creators, right? I've already noticed, just like off the rip, that my my algorithm's gotten a little bit more to the top. So it's been a bit easier for me to fill up the room. Oh, that doesn't play into it at all anymore? Or at all? Yeah, also that's kind of why I want to push to to affiliate, so I can start getting some subs. So I mean, honestly, that's why it's like I thought maybe it could be a good idea if somebody's privy to this. I need 8 days streamed in a month. I need to average 3 viewers for all 8 of those days. If I was to acquire all 8 of those days and just stop streaming for the month, and then wait for the new month, would that push me there? Like I'm so close. I'm like anything that pushes me over the edge. Channel points and ads. You, the streamer, have to do all the lifting. Fair enough. 28th and 30th had low amount of streamers, but went 3K viewers. Yeah, some days D&D is like a few hundred people, and some days it's a few thousand people. It definitely goes up and down, for sure, depending on where we are in the week and where we are in the day. My phone's been dead all day. I'm sure my wife's probably blowing me up. That's 2 though. We're making good time today. And we're doing some good work. We're getting some good progress done as well, everybody. Thank you for the help. Get back into it here. So we're going to start with Troll Bark Forest. QR1. QR1. Okay. So I just need to copy paste this. Top of this, go to that, go to this, go to that, bada bing! Put that down on its own page. We're in Eastern clock, in Eastern time, so it's 2 p.m. for me now. So from what I can tell you, you'll have to change your sleeping schedule if you are to aim for the Kingmaker slots. Hi, to the bell. Can you get your cat butt at least, like, you can be in the camera? I'm totally fine with that. It's just your butt on my mouse. That's what I don't like. That's what is normally is difficult for me, is when your butt is just on my mouse, Jezebel? You want me to let you out? Why are you so precious? When did you become this precious? You're just so soft. I call her soft paws. She kitty soft paws. Stay away from my donut. Don't think just because you're cute. Well, all these cats coming from my stuff. Come on. Out with you. Come on. Come on, would you? Jezebel. Move your butt. Now she's gonna start getting mad at me. Now she's gonna start getting mad at me. Jezebel, I can't work with you here. Your butt is in the way. Alright, I guess that kind of works. I can see past your butt to the screen. CR1, I believe these should be CR2. 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. your time. That's an early morning for me. I mean, it's feasible. It's definitely feasible. Alright, Jezebel, it is cold, and I need to close this window now. Out or in? I love you. See you soon. Honestly, I mean, Stormy, you're right. I mean, it doesn't even sound that bad, to be honest. Oh, thanks for the follow, Gambit. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, you know, because like I said, I am definitely a little behind the curve when it comes to knowing all this modern world stuff. Like, it took me, like, it was like a few years ago. I was like, wait a second. I was like, people make money on TikTok? I was like, wait, would they make money on that? Like, people have a job? And I was like, oh my god. Like, I feel so old. Like, I assumed people streaming made money, but, like, it's like, people on TikTok, too? I was like, wait, IG now? People, this influencer thing? I'm like, what? For me, I'm an older millennial, so it's like, I was around for MySpace and everything like that, so, like, everything's always been personal, you know? It was never a business to be an influencer, right? It was just what you did because you wanted to do it, you know? Nice, nice. So yeah, you have to touch on a lot of stuff that... Well, I think that's what's cool about kind of my content, is like, it's like, take it as you want it. You know, it's not very specific, and it can be geared either way for people. You know, whether you like watching me, or whether you like what I'm working on, or you like sharing ideas, or just being in a space where ideas are shared, you know? Whatever attracts you or draws you to the channel. Cause I like straight, dude, you know how many times Fig's been over here and tried to like snoop on my prep, and then they have the audacity of being like, oh, you know, I could be in that. I could be in that campaign with you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you could. Well, I mean, they could. At this point, I'm gonna put my campaign up on pay to play, and I'll also put it in my Discord channels as well. Was it Play Now? I believe the website's called. So, and like also this is all pre-prep, right? So 2 things. This is all, you know, this is what there's going to be different prep for the individual sessions, right? And then also on top of that, like, a lot of this is not me deciding it, as you've seen. If you watch my channel or you check out my YouTube at the Cartographer, I'm just like filling in the spots with what is supposed to be there, right? So it's almost like it's like meta. It's almost like it's like lore, right? Where it doesn't matter what I'm prepping, it's like that's what's going to be there anyways. But like the actual shape of the dungeons, you know, loot, stuff like that, stat blocks. There's a lot of stuff that would still be secret, I guess. And definitely, this is not the only time I prep. I definitely prep more than just right now. It's an all-week thing. Yeah, you probably prep just enough. I'm prepping way too much for this campaign. Because I want it to be my baby child. I want it to be what it is, a lore relevant, you know, fleshed out portion of the Sword Coast. Creature 1, we are in the forest. I mean, I feel 2 ways about that, Stormy. So, first, yes, I agree, because I have a consistent schedule in which I do prep. But second, it was like, I think it was Tuesday, we just started chatting, dude. And like, I look up at the clock and I'm like, oh my god, an hour and a half went by and I haven't even touched this single tier list that I'm working on, right? Like today, I've busted out like 2.5. So it's like some days I get a lot done, other days not so much. I think it depends on how much participation is had on the channel. We are in the forest, not the... No, there we go, cool. Bronze Scout, Bugbear. Chokers, Direwolves, Dryads, done. Dryad might work. They wouldn't have any. They are Fey, though. This is the troll forest, so I gotta troll it up. Probably 2 sessions a week, yeah. Yeah, I don't like having too many sessions in a week because it takes the fun out of prepping. The Spider King. Reset. Let's look up trolls. Because I want to at least make sure I have all these trolls fit into where I need. Right now, I'm not running any games. I'm preparing to run 1 game. I have run... I think I've only ever run 1 game at a time. I've done like one-shots and stuff and added stuff in like that to fill my schedule during the week. But I tend to play once or twice a week and then DM once a week as well. So I'll play D&D maybe 2 to 3 times a week on average. Sometimes that goes up, sometimes that goes down, all depends. Alright, here are all my trolls. CR 5, 7, 9, 6... 13. Troll. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then maybe we can do like some super awesome troll every week, and that one will run occasionally due to rotating GM. The GM, my friend, yes. I think for us, like over on our channel, we've kind of taken like a natural rotation where, like I picked up and I just started playing a game with some of my other players just because like I wanted to play more. So I was like, hey, I'm having fun. Let's play more. I was like, okay, I'll DM now. Yeah, I definitely got to figure out a bit more of this this OBS in the future. It's all work in progress here. Creature 4. We'll just put troll. Seven troll mutate, don't want that one. Venom troll. Maybe the 8. Will be that, I think, the dire troll. Sure. That's not playing out. It's not. It doesn't look the way I want it to look. $1d4 dire trolls. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Why can't they be dire trolls? We only need to be one troll. And we're gonna have some super troll. I'm probably gonna have to homebrew something for this, I think. Oh, what's this dude? Troll amalgam forms when multiple trolls fuse together during regeneration. This sometimes occurs when many trolls are slain in a single battle. When troll parts are thrown into charnel pits or mass graves, or through twisted rituals of wicked spellcasters. The misshapen mass of rubbery flesh, claws, and faces. If a creature tries to attack it from beyond its reach or to escape through a small tunnel, the troll amalgam tears off a piece of its own body and hurls it at the creature. These body parts eventually regenerate into full trolls, and sometimes they regather and combine into a new troll amalgam. That's fun! And what I love about this is how literally fearsome it is, because Trollbark Forest has been sitting here for a while, for a minute, for a reason, right? Oh, let's see what you're up to, Stormy. You're gonna ask those questions, right? What's this character's name, DM? Can I roll a persuasion check for them to be my friend? Can I keep this dog? The mental load. You sound like my wife. She's gonna be mad at me for that one. Let's see. One Uber Troll Amalgam. Oh, this is. I'm gonna save this for next session, where we'll homebrew this creature together. So creature 1s, 2s, halves and quarters. Yeah, I mean, like, the Trollbark Forest begs the question, like, why hasn't Daggerfordians or Baldur Gadians, you know, ousted the trolls and harvested the forest? You know, like, what's been stopping them? Well, I'll tell you what's been stopping them. It's this giant troll mass. Just this one giant blob of troll. Awakened trees can be here, because this is a part of that forest. Or used to be. Awakened tree. Boars. CR1. Yeah, I think Pazio did a really good job with it. I thought it's kind of like the brain baby of like all the things we wanted 5e to be. All that intricacy that 5e doesn't have or offer, like, is there. Like, there isn't things that are undersimplified there. If anything, they're fleshed out very well. We can do some direwolves. Creature 1/2s. This is a new all-time high, I think, at nine viewers. Thanks, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm sure we got people from all over the world here. I tend to, I don't even think it's me. I think it's Dungeons and Dragons, right? I think the game just brings together people from all over the world, right? 1/4. Could do some ravens. I don't think I've done ravens yet. Or, sorry, 1/2s, not 1/4s. Here we are. I don't want to use giant stuff, because I already used giant stuff. vine blades. Vine blade. CR2s now. CR2s. Oh, I guess. What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Word, nice. Yeah, I definitely think it's my hair too. We're at Willow Wisps. Let's see. Do I want Will-O-Wisp? Because it's also going to have an upgrade. So maybe I don't want Willows. I've been pretty good. I mean, up and down. I think this week's been up and down. It all depends on like how well I sleep, I think. But I've been starting to get my sleep back on track a little bit. I've been doing all right. How are you doing, I guess? Oh. I feel like I'm looking for something that's not there. Maybe I do centaurs. Maybe the centaurs are here because they don't... No, the centaurs would be in the other... They'd be in the... They'd be in the other ones if they were. Now maybe they could, like, be navigating these woods. Because the trolls live here. As long as you stay away from the trolls and you don't piss the trolls off, like, it's fine. Yeah, maybe I do run with that a little bit. Again, it's the same thing. It's like, I stretch, I have full range, but I'm just like, I just have general soreness all day. So it's just like, I'm just like waiting here, hoping one day I wake up and it's not sore. I'm just waiting for that day, essentially. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we run with the centaurs. I think this is fine. I think they like living here because they know the trolls and how they behave because they've grown up in this area. CR1, CR2, troll, CR1, CR2. Two D4 what? 2D4 more rolls? More wolves, more... Or I could do some dryads. Mazels, nilbogs. Tigers, which is weird. I hope it's not my cat. It is my cat. You okay, Jaja? The dog's barking at you. Poor girl. She's so fresh. Any suggestions for a quirk about a general store run by a clueless kobold who doesn't understand why people hand over shiny coins for non-shiny objects? Ooh, I'm starting to get really tight. Here's my stuff. Yeah, I think we could think of something here. What's a fun idea here? I mean, maybe it's not a quirk, but more of a mechanic, right? Where maybe you can find several items that aren't illustrious or shiny, but have a really good value to them, right? And they're very important for players to acquire, like such as like maybe like a health potion or something. And then if the players can suss it out, or if somebody has a really high perception, they can realize that, you know, you can very easily acquire some goods of worth for some shiny trades at a better value, right? Hi, Jaja. Yes, I'm finishing up soon, honey. Finishing up soon. We got a big stream day out today. Get out of my food. Get out of my food. It's a general store. I mean, you could add, maybe they have like a baby wyvern or, you know, baby dragon down in the basement. Yeah, I think that's the idea that you should run with. I think that's a really fun idea, and you could play around with very well. But then also, like, do it stuff in their favor, and then do stuff not in their favor, right? So, like, say stuff that's shiny gets like a plus 50%, right? So it's like if they were to go to sell their gems there, if that's the case, I've definitely played around with the idea of, you know, a clueless vendor, or just like a haphazard vendor who maybe isn't that successful or travels a lot or what have you, right? Who they have this pile of junk, but inside said pile of junk, if somebody was to have a high perception check, or to intentionally use a perception check, or to use like a detect magic spell on the pile of junk, then they can find that there's another item inside that pile of junk. And like I've roleplayed that as like, you know, the character says, oh, it's got to be in there somewhere, you know, just like tell them to keep looking in the piles. Yeah, it's got to be in there. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff in there. It's got to be in there, you know, and then make them think like, well, what actually is in there? You know, let's have my player just check. So that could be an option. That's something that I've kind of done before a little bit, to an extent. Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. Just like literally just like inverse the economy at this dude's shop because dude's clueless. And then like I would give them some cool items to have. You know, like maybe something that's really illustrious that has no purpose, and then conversely things that aren't shiny at all that do have purpose. And then a little mix of both. I think that's a fun idea. Oh, we are almost done with these encounter lists. I almost want to just finish this last one right now. I gotta go to the restroom. I shall return. I'm gonna throw y'all in the office quick. I would agree. Maybe a little extreme. Maybe I'd say like 20 to 50%. Or even just do it like a flat 50% could be cool. Or a flat 25% in either direction. Can't be trusted in there. In that there. Secretly being a dragon, but it removes the charm. An innocent kobold, friendly, chatty. Next door without having any idea of how to do it. If it's secretly a dragon, I think it could be an emerald dragon, who tend to be creatures of curiosity, and frequently would try to situate themselves in a position where they could learn about human nature. But it would have to be a very short-lived, dragon that's like just started this shop, right? Yeah, I think that's easy. I wouldn't want to go too deep in it. I think having the kobold and run with the idea that we had, right? Just run with the idea, the concept of like he likes shiny, but doesn't like not shiny, but is a vendor who should be able to decipher, values of goods equally, but this vendor cannot. Like this vendor has his flaw, and it's kobold like shiny, right? It's a really fun flaw, and I think you just run with it, What's the name of the shop? Let's start there. The illustrious kobold. Give him a potion that gave him gills. He went into the ocean for shiny coins. Next day, players rescued him and got 2 rewards. Nice. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Yeah, I think it's perfect. This is like a very good example of like a simple idea can be so good and doesn't need, like, you don't need, that idea doesn't need anything else, right? That idea is completely fine by itself. I guess that's a fair point. I mean, once I get going here, I think I should set up in my OBS the chat, because people chatting in Twitch can't chat with my people over in Kick. And if the chat was on screen, well then of course you could. Which, you know, we're just bringing people together at that point. I'm curious to see what happens with the OBS after I know my OBS documents everything for me in a file, but I had a decent little process going where I could just export from Twitch to YouTube. And it was more or less for like video documenting purposes for myself. So I can go back and look at something if I need to. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that interacts with the simulcast, right? Let's see here though. I think we've gone long enough for the day. What, we're going on like, what, 3 hours here? I don't know if I can raid like I would normally raid. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, I think it's definitely a good place to call it. I'll finish up that next list next time around. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be on Twitch tomorrow, but definitely come give me a follow on Kick. I think I'm definitely gonna stream on Kick. I mean, might do some like League of Legends or something late. At Cartographer. You can find me on Kick, on YouTube, here on Twitch if you like. But my schedule's just going to start changing around a little bit just so I can make sure I get my average viewers up and I can kick myself up to affiliate. And hopefully, well, soon enough, I'll be there, right? So I just want to give a big shout out to all of my supporters there, all my lurkers. Thank you so much. Big shout out to all my cats, keeping me on my toes. Trying to run outside even though you're too small to be outside and it's the middle of the winter and you shouldn't do that, Harry. God. Yeah. I'll see you all soon enough. If it's not in a game or a session, it'll be maybe on the next stream. Take it easy and take care.